Hakadosh, Boker Or. I wanted to share with everybody a few beautiful short Divrei Torahs. One of them is a very interesting concept, which has to do with the tefillah of Avotenu HaKadoshim, of our forefathers, in order to have children. It says in the Parashat, "Vayetar Yitzchak leHashem lenochach ishto." Yitzchak Avinu comes and he prays opposite his wife, ki akarai, because she is barren, right? She's sterile. And Rashi actually says he did a lot of tefillot. The Gemara Masechet Yevamot of Samudalad Amudalef actually says, why is it that Avotenu ayu akurim? Because the Kadosh Baruch Hu is mitaveh letfilatan shel tzadikim. He wants the tefillot of the tzadikim, and therefore he knew that the Avot would be akurim. But the Gemara is saying that Sarai Menu was an Ilonit, as it says, "Vati Sarai Akarai Lavlad." Even Bevlad Ella, she didn't even have a uterus. She didn't even have the womb. So Midrash Rabbi actually says that Rivka also didn't have a Bevlad, just like Sara. So the question that we ask is, right, how does Yitzchak pray for Rivka? We don't come and start praying for miracles, right? Just like it's a surah to pray for a woman that she's pregnant, that she's going to have a boy, because basically it's a tefillah that changes the nature, which is already hukvah. So what's the difference between that and praying that she should have a child, right? And we don't find actually that Avraham and Sara, that he came and he actually prayed for her, just like we do find by Yitzchak and Rivka. So that's also something very, very interesting that we have to actually look into. Rav Chaim Kanievsky was asked this question, and he wanted to answer that tzaddikim gedolim are able to pray for Maaseh Nisim. And he brings a proof from the Gemara Masechet Tanit, Tavkaf Amudalef and Chulin, that it says over there, Shani Dav Chanina de Nafish Zechuteh. Chanina was different, that he had so many zechuyot. It's like a different concept, right? But there's different answers. One answer that was given by Rav Baruch Mordechai Ezrach, right? He just was niftar. Kasher HaKadosh Baruch Hu amvaser, ki yeh malach shel nisim. He wants to answer when Hashem comes and he tells you that there's going to be miracles that are going to occur. It's not anymore in Palim al-Nes. You're allowed to pray for the Nes. And therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu already told Avraham Avinu that he's going to have a child. And it cannot come only through miracles. So therefore what? HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not want. Well, it has to come. He was the one that confirmed that Avraham Avinu was going to have children. His children are going to have children. And therefore, the entire Malach was of miracles. So therefore, once it's like that, so then there's no problem that you could pray for it, because it's already going to happen. And that's what he comes and he says, the Kitvia agrees. He actually asked this, right? He says, why do we see that Avraham Avinu prayed for Sarah, that she should have a child? Just like we find by Yitzchak praying for Rivka. So he answers that in the Midrash when it says, Vati Sarai Yakarai Lavlat. He says, Deloya Sarah Bedlad Klal, she couldn't give birth at all. Just like we saw in the Gemara Masechet Berachot, right? That if a person is going to come and pray that his wife is going to have a child, a boy, and it's after she's already pregnant, so tefillat shav, it's worthless. So to Sarah, since she was completely out of having a child, it didn't help. But Rivka, it just says ka'akara. He doesn't say that she didn't, right? And lavla, that she cannot. It just says she was akara. She was sterile, but she could still have children. However, though, if you look in the Midrash Rabbi brings down, Sarah Rivka was the same thing, right? Lo yala bet vlad. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to make the miracle. So therefore, we have to actually understand. I understand by Sarah it's written that the reason why she was an akara is en la vlad, which means she didn't have a bet vlad. A bet vlad means she didn't have the place where the child could actually be, which is the uterus, right? But Rivka, how does the Midrash know? It doesn't say anything. So he comes and he actually wants to say, right, as follows. He wants to say, Vaim Piresh, right, Pirush Marzav, that he already had this question. And he says that the Rasha was that by Sarah, when it says en la vlad, it means it's like a Gzera Shavan. When it says also by Rivka that she didn't have a child, so it means the same thing, right? And therefore, that's why he comes and it says it was like he said there was something there. So therefore, Avraham Avinu didn't pray, right? Because he knew this. But by Rivka, it wasn't known yet. And therefore, since it wasn't known, he was allowed to pray. And that's why Yitzchak Avinu did pray, and Avraham Avinu did not pray. And that's what's mashma from Rashi when it says that 10 years Yitzchak was waiting. And once she did not become pregnant, so he knew that she was sterile. Because remember, she got married at the age of 3. And then she waited until she became right? The Bat mitzvah age, and now he could start praying for her. And therefore now he's going to start. Okay, so that's the first answer. That's one answer just to understand. There's, by the way, going to be a whole bunch of answers over here. Here it actually brings down, right, how many answers to this question. We already brought down Chaim Kanievsky, the first one, right, that basically he didn't know. But the second answer is we don't pray ala nes gamur, which means that this is brought down in the Rebozna, that he wants to say that you never pray for a complete miracle, right? Because that you don't do. So therefore, they just want to say, but if it's going to be a little bit of a miracle, then that you could pray. So that's why he wanted to differentiate between Sara and Rivka. Sara, that it would have been a complete miracle, Avraham Avinu didn't pray. But the Rivka, that she was just sterile, but she had a womb, so therefore it could be maybe there you could pray. That was the second answer. Third answer they want to say is the people which are Ruhim Lanes because of Abtachat HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So that was the one that we brought down from Chaim Kanievsky, which is basically that if right now you have that Hashem told them they're going to have a child, so therefore even if it's going to be a miracle, you could pray for it, because you already know that Hashem guaranteed that they're going to have a child. A fourth answer that they bring down is Sadiq Rav Bubre. What does that mean? They actually want to say that a Tzaddik, he doesn't have the Yisur of Mipalel al-Nes. Mipalel al-Nes is me and you, that for ourselves, we're not allowed to pray for miracles. But for them, there's no problem praying for miracles because they are Tzaddikim. Because with the Tzaddikim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes and he does everything with miracles. So therefore, they're allowed to pray for whatever they want. A fifth answer that they answer is that really, Be'emet, if you're going to pray Lichvot Shamayim, it's permitted even to pray for a miracle. Which means that the reason why they wanted to pray, even though usually you can't pray for a nest, but here, for example, let's say you're praying for rain, and it's going to be a miracle if it's going to rain out. It's the middle of the summer where it doesn't rain at all, and it hasn't rained the entire season, but they asked you to pray for rain, and you're praying for rain. Everyone's going to see how the God of the Jews, the God in the heavens, he's going to come, he's going to answer. That's going to be permitted, even though it's going to be a miracle, right? There's going to be another few answers, but again, all these answers, right, are just different concepts. But I'll just give you another two of them, maybe, which are very, 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 very beautiful, right? One of them is the Shem Shmuel. The Shem Shmuel comes and he said, "Yesoda nisim in Israel throughout all the generations, and therefore you could actually be meorer the nes bischutam because maaseh avot siman lebanim," which means like this. These miracles that were going to happen even now in our generation, in our days, they all started because of the Avot HaKadoshim. And that's explanation by Yetad Yitzchak LaHashem. What does that mean? He changed Midat Ragzanut. He changed that there's anger to become mercy. And therefore the Avot, they gave a Koach Gadol to be Mechadesh Nisim in the world, to make miracles in this world, each one according to how he was. And now all of a sudden, that's going to give us also the power to do the same miracles, because they already brought it into the world. And then we could also. So if we're going to come and we're going to pray for these things, it's not anymore something of a miracle, right, that's going to happen. Because once it already was brought into the world, now it could continue, right? And the last one is Avraham did not pray for Sara because he was Megayer Anashim and Sara Megayer Anashim. So therefore it comes out that Ki'ilu, she had children. And the children that she had were the people that she converted. And therefore, since she already had children, so therefore he's not going to pray that she should have children. But she already had children. You're right, they're spiritual children, not physical children, but she had children. But Yitzchak Avinu didn't have that at all. Yitzchak Avinu didn't go out and start being converting, neither did Sarah, according to this explanation. And therefore, because of that, she didn't have children at all. So therefore, he's going to come and he's going to actually pray, right, all the entire time. So I think it's actually just a few different answers, beautiful answers, just to explain the difference, what we see between whether it's Avraham and Sarah and Yitzchak and Rivka, and how is it that Pichlal possible that you could actually start praying for miracles, right, in this day.